Hello, everyone. NFL football starts tonight, which means it's the first week of fantasy football. Just want to say thank you to everybody for being in the O-Town Fantasy League once again. We had a successful draft, and I'm looking forward to another great season. The first game I want to talk about is the most interesting to me this week, which is number 1 Matt versus number 7 Logan. This is fun because Logan ranked Matt last in the rankings, and I ranked him first, so it's kind of split on what people think or what Logan and I think about Matt's team. For Logan, Jamal Charles is going to be out, which will hurt his team, but he does have Spencer Ware, which is Charles's backup in a starting lineup now. But for Wogue, Amir Abdullah is his running back 1 right now, and I had experience with Abdullah last year. He does not get as many points as he's projected ever, so that will hurt Logan's team. For Matt, he's got AJ Green in a tough matchup versus New York Jets. So that's going to be Darrelle Revis versus AJ Green. That hurts Matt's team a little bit, but I still think Green will get a lot of production. And then Andrew Luck, Aaron Rodgers are the 2 quarterbacks for these 2 teams. Very good quarterbacks. They're going to have field days versus Jacksonville is who Rodgers is playing, and Andrew Luck's playing Detroit. So quarterbacks are going to have a big day. It's really going to come down to the running backs and wide receivers. And in the end, I think this will be a very close game, but I've got to give the victory to Matt, 130 to 118. Next up, I'll talk about Aaron versus myself. Aaron is ranked 2nd in my preseason rankings, and I ranked myself 9th, so quite the disparity, but I'm actually leading the ESPN projected totals 120 to 116. For my team, it looks like Stafford is going to have a big day versus the Indianapolis defense, and they're projecting Drew Brees to do well versus Oakland. I'm not big on that. I think Oakland's defense is very good, so I'm kind of skeptical of Brees' performance against Oakland. Also, I'm interested to see David Johnson and Devontae Freeman for Aaron's team. Freeman had a really good year last year, and David Johnson just racked up the touchdowns and got him a lot of fantasy points as well. So I'm interested to see how they start the year as the lead backs and as highly drafted running backs as well. In the end, though, I have a good matchup for Jordy Nelson versus Jacksonville, Adrian Peterson versus Tennessee, and Latavius Murray versus New Orleans. Those are 3 very weak defenses, so I think that I'm actually able to get it done in this game. I'm picking myself 133 to 120. Next game, number 5 Justin versus number 6 Blake. Should be a really good game. ESPN has Blake winning 122 to 113. There's a couple of matchups that I like in this game. The first is Justin has Arian Foster versus the Seattle defense. ESPN is only projecting him to get 5 points. I can't decide if that's too high, or I can't decide if that's too low. It's probably about right considering how stout Seattle's defense is, but I do like Arian Foster as long as he's healthy. Also for Justin, he has Cam Newton, so this is the revenge game for Cam Newton tonight. I'll be interested to see how many points he gets. In my opinion, he'll have an okay game, but I think it's going to be a defensive battle. For Blake, another interesting matchup in this game is he has Antonio Brown versus the Redskins. So that is Antonio Brown versus Josh Norman. That's going to be a cool matchup to see. ESPN has Brown getting the better of Norman, scoring 17 points, but we'll see what happens. As for me, I pick Blake to win this game, 134 to 105. 2 more games. Number 4 Michael versus number 10 Jacob. ESPN is projecting Jacob to win this game 111 to 105. I know Jacob is really going to want to get the win to get out of that number 10 spot and bump me down. For Mike, he's starting off the season without Le'Veon Bell, which will hurt him in the first few games, but will definitely help him later on. But yeah, tonight he won't have Le'Veon Bell, or this week he won't have him. Jacob is projected to get a big game out of Russell Wilson. I never trust that. Never trust Russell's ESPN projections. And they're projecting almost nothing out of Thomas Rawls, who I wasn't really high on, but I think he's going to score more than 5 points against the Dolphins. Anyway, a couple things I'm looking for in this game. Eddie Lacy versus Jacksonville for Michael. Kevin White in his NFL debut for Michael. And then for Jacob, Dez Bryant in his first game without Tony Romo. That's not true because he was without him so much last year. but his first game with Dak Prescott, rather, first regular season game. In the end, I think Dez and Wilson are overestimated on their projections, and I think that Eddie Lacy and Jeremy Langford are underestimated. So I'll give Michael the win here, 118 to 103. All right, last game, and this is the highest ESPN projected game. It is Craig versus Doug, number 3 versus number 7. ESPN is projecting Doug to win 122 to 121, so it looks like it's going to be a close one. For Doug, Todd Gurley is going to go off versus San Francisco, but a projection of 11 for Doug Martin and 11 for Allen Robinson seems a bit high. For Craig, I really like Lamar Miller. I think he's going to have a solid opener for the season. And I like Demaryius Thomas a lot, but I don't like him tonight versus Carolina, especially in Trevor Siemian's first game. So this will be a close game. In the end, I think that I said in the end about every single game. So how about ultimately, I think that Odell Beckham's huge day versus Dallas will be bigger than Gurley's huge day versus the 49ers. So that will give Craig a 137-134 win. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any feedback, and enjoy this week. I am heading up to Ohio State tomorrow to enjoy the game, so go TU, beat Ohio State. Let's go.